July. I think today is July 11th or 12th. I lose count of days. I really don't know, right? But all I know is that we continue to travel. And you know, it's an amazing time where you can reflect on ideas, right? I'm in a position in life where I went from, being a coach within Brotherhood, and I was there for like a whole year, gained incredible experience. And then, you gotta understand how life works in very sneaky ways, right? I always knew I wanted to build my own community. I always knew that I saw myself as the main coach, as, being owner of a community where I can help people in the things I specialize in, right? And this is something that I really noticed for myself that I fell in love with. I fell in love with the coaching aspects, really understanding consciousness, the subconscious mind, the universe, the laws, all right? And I made it a mission where I said, you know what, I think it's time to become a successful online coach and be able to help people understand their ego mind, right? So I opened up my community, and the most important lesson, and I think the message throughout my life that I'm accepting, is that you must believe more in the things that cannot be seen. You must believe in the things that you can't see. But if only you knew that the things you can't see are more real than the things you actually see, right? And a lot of people may say, what are you talking about, right? Water is great. Water is amazing, honestly. Amazing water, by the way. Let me just highlight the fact that this is amazing. It's a dream, right? It's a dream to, first of all, make money online, right? Imagine not having to go to an office or go anywhere else. You stay from home and you take calls online on a Zoom call, whatever, or a FaceTime call, whatever you want. And you make money. You get an invoice paid for a service you provide, right? And before this ever was real, I absolutely made no money at all. I had one job in my life, one job, and that was when I was 16. And that's because I was forced to take that job, right? Because in reality, I would never work a 9-to-5 in my life, and I made that very clear. I said I wouldn't. I know there's way more. I know that there's more than just working, going to an office every day, working for someone else, right? And that's what I mean, and this is where I'm heading towards when I say that there is a world of the unseen, and the unseen is more real than the seen, right? Because how did I ever first, think about, hey, you know what? I think I can make money online. It didn't just happen. I didn't just start taking steps towards it. I started taking, it's crazy. There's a lot of, I don't even know what this is called. It's not called seaweed. It seems very similar. But anyways, there's a lot of that here in the beach today. But I didn't just start making money online by taking action. It first took the ideas of, hey, is this a reality that I can live? Hey, how do I start achieving this? Hey, do I see myself doing this, right? That's how you start, but then the most profound thing is, I am this guy who can do it, right? And that must be your language that you speak about every single time. First, you speak about it to yourself in your head with the thoughts you create. And can you see thoughts? You cannot. Thoughts are invisible. But it is those thoughts that start to take materialization in the external world. This thought, so many times you repeat it, so many times you go to sleep with it, so many times you wake up and it's the first thought you think about. You practice these thoughts over and over about, hey, I can do this, I can be this, I am this. This is the life I want. And thoughts, if you think about what a belief is something you just assume. You believe so without any doubt that you just accept. And a lot of us don't even know what our beliefs are. A lot of us live this life with beliefs that someone else put onto us, right? And that is step one. What beliefs do I have? And when did I ever take the time to create beliefs that I want, right? So I say, you know what? I understand that my beliefs control my decisions. they control my thought direction, right? What you believe in, you'll just have more thoughts of that. Whether it's about money, relationships, traveling, whatever you can think of, your beliefs will drive your thoughts on that, right? So I said, you know what? I am a successful person. I am an abundant person. Making money online is easy. Because you tell the average person, hey, you can make money online, they'll say, that seems hard. That's impossible. Me? Nah, I can't, right? But basically, so what is more real then? When you get the results, or when you start creating the thoughts? Because without the thoughts, there is no result, right? So this is what I'm saying, that you must believe more in the unseen than the seen. The unseen is the cause, and the seen, what you see in the material world, is called the effects. And if you understand cause and effects, nothing, no effect can exist without having a cause, right? So now this is where a lot of people get very confused, right? Oh my God, I'm about to drown. Hopefully not on video, please. That'd be a terrifying video. A lot of people say, oh, this is happening in my life because of this, because of that. And I'm here to tell you, you're absolutely wrong. It's not because of something outside that's creating these effects, right? Because effects don't just appear. There's a cause. And the cause is consciousness. Consciousness. And if I could describe consciousness to you, consciousness is the only reality. It is what you assume about yourself. It is what the conscious and subconscious mind creates. And to really break that down, the conscious mind is just, I steer to decide to make these thoughts, right? You steer and you decide what thoughts and decisions you want to take, right? And you do these conscious decisions and thoughts so many times that you end up believing it. You start to feel it. You start to feel like these beliefs and thoughts are real, and then it causes and triggers an emotion within you, right? When you persist so many times in a thought, you're more likely to experience that thought in reality. So now your thoughts created an effect outside, and you experience it. And that experience grants you an emotion, and that emotion is what enters your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is now the body. It's what moves the body. And you may ask yourself, what do you mean it moves your body? Do you control, or do you think about, hey, I must take a left step forward, then a right step forward when you're walking around? It just happens automatically. When you're brushing your teeth, do you, all right and then left, right and then left? No, it just happens automatically. So let's just say I have a belief that making money online is so easy, and I'm an online successful coach, and I believe it, and people love joining my community. People love paying me for my one-on-one coaching services, right? And if I impress that emotion on my subconscious mind, what does that mean? It means that my body will now push, not even push, move on its own to create or display that emotion. That emotion of, I do make money online, I am abundant, I am successful, right? My body will naturally go ahead and make it happen on its own accord, without any effort, without struggling, without thinking about the how. It just goes ahead and does it on its own. So this conscious and subconscious mind is consciousness. So you can think about it that consciousness is cause. According to your consciousness, or so as in consciousness, so on earth. As in the subconscious, so on earth. As in heaven, so on earth. And as the great Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And if you can understand that your greatest treasure is understanding that all you must do is change your consciousness, become aware of consciousness being the only reality, meaning that no matter what you see out here, this is not reality. It doesn't happen of its own. This, you can think about it as a blank slate that keeps things being added onto it, right? What do I mean by that? Just think about it, guys. Everything that was ever created, all these buildings, right? I think this beach is man-made too. All of it was first in the mind of man first. People first thought of the idea of creation, and then it became something outside, right? Your TV, your watch, your clothes, your chain, everything was first a thought in the mind of man first. So what's reality? Is it the person and their ideas and what they really believe they can create? Or is it what just appears in this external world, right? If you look at the effects, the external world, the material world, and just say, ah, that's real, you're ignoring all the context behind it. What caused it to be real, right? So guys, once you start to really accept and understand that consciousness, your internal world, is the only reality, it is the only life, it is the only real thing, then you start to master life. Because then you can choose any probability, any possibility, any reality, and you start to say, you know what? I know how to bend my reality. I know I must change my thoughts, my belief, my emotions about certain things, and I must make it my truth daily. So, if this outside is not real, right? It's not the only reality. It's not reality. It is just the world, the effects. Why do we look at it for proof? Right? And this is the problem. And this is where, in my next video, I want to talk about the ego. Because the ego is not aware of this inner world, the kingdom of heaven. It's not aware of consciousness. It just believes, my life is just like this, therefore this is who I am. I can't do nothing about it, blah, 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 right? It says, nah, I'm just a victim of life. I don't know how to create it. I just let life happen to me, right? This ego keeps you forced to one reality, and it prevents you from understanding your life. It stops you from understanding your power. And this ego is what I believe is the actual Satan. Because your ego will look at your bank account, it will look at the things you have right now, it will look at all your results right now in your life and say, this is who I am, this is what I have, and I cannot change this. So if you have $10 in your bank account right now, and you say, you know what, I want to open a business and make $100,000 per year or per month, right? Your ego mind is like, nope, I only got $10. That looks so unrealistic to me, so why would I ever bother taking action or thinking about that, right? Doesn't that sound like Satan itself telling you you cannot dream of anything else but what you have right now? So Satan owns the external material world and its effects. But if you can let go of that world, then you know that you can create any reality from within. And this is where, guys, I'm gonna tell you one secret. The greatest tool of the internal world, the greatest tool is imagination, right? Ever since I was a little kid, I said, hey, you know what? Why is it that every part of our body, or we have so many functions that are used for everything, right? Our liver, our kidney, our cells, our heart, everything, our hairs, our toenails, all these things have functions. Then I thought about it, I'm like, okay, so if everything has a purpose, what about our imagination? Is it just because we're bored and we can just sit there and daydream? I said, no way. And I started to think about it. It is this imagination that can allow you to imagine anything that you do not have right now. Think about that. Your imagination can allow you to see a dream life, a different version of you. Even if you're fat, you can imagine a ripped version of yourself. And this imagination is what saves you, because if you start to ignore the world of the effects, and this imagination is part of consciousness, it is part of the internal world, the only reality, then you can live with that imagination and believe. If you really believe and understand that the internal consciousness is the only reality, then you understand that you can believe more in the things that you do not see more than the things see. Because the moment you believe more in the things that you do not see, and you persist with that belief that the things you do not see, that's in within, that you imagine, that you know can be yours, then that world becomes more real than the outside. And you understand that if you make that inner world real, then it will slowly transition into the external material world. And that, to me, guys, is the power of God. God is not outside. Remember, God is now outside. Right? Jesus said that there's no separation from God. And I tell you, hey, if God is infinite and He created us, how are we separate from Him? Anyways, this is how I ended up being able to make money online, travel the world. This is how I'm not my 9 to 5. This is how I will continue to succeed in business and change lives. This is how I will continue to make life seem like a miracle. But it is no miracle. It is simply understanding the only reality is consciousness. The only reality is within you. And most importantly, God loves us all. He loves you so much that whatever idea you have in your mind and you persist in it and you assume it, He will create that reality for you in the external world. Let go of the external world and make the inner world the most real thing in your life. Speak soon in our next video.